Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I've been saying this for a long time, actually almost since the beginning of the so-called military operation in Ukraine, and that is Ukraine will be provided with tanks and airplanes sooner or later. I'm talking about aircraft, military aircraft, not transportation. They already have that one. And as they always do, they start slowly and they go till the end. When they get to till the end, they're gonna say straight what they want. They are at that point where they are over there. It's not if they will receive them from the sponsors, the handlers of this war, or it's when. It's not if, it's when. So, and we'll see how these guys operate, in what kind of terms they operate. This article comes from Ukrinform, and it's a Ukrainian media outlet. This is the title. Zelensky said that victories in skies come at a high cost. F-15 and F-16 would help. Oops, look at that. So yeah, he already says what he needs. He needs either F-16s or F-15s. Pretty soon I'm going to be like a glowing saint that I'm not. I don't know if you know, but in the Bible, the people, certain saints or prorocs or whatever you call them, people would come, and people with certain kind of abilities, they would show up with their faces burning. So let's not burn. No, don't be a saint, Emil. So better, not really. Let's make it a little bit like that. All right. So I'm like that now. I'm showing up with my face burning. I think it's even in the last chapter. What Revelation, I think, is the same. Anyway, so the armed forces of Ukraine are heroically fighting against the Russian invaders using the equipment inferior to enemy aircraft. So modern equipment is needed. Yeah. Bring it. And they will. And I'm quoting, the armed forces of Ukraine are heroically fighting against the enemy, which is significantly superior. Oh my God, superior, inferior. That's not good. They are doing so using obsolete equipment inferior to the newer aerial vehicles of the occupiers. They already lost at least 500 helicopters and aircraft, yet these victories come at a high cost, he stressed. The president also published an English language video by United 24 Media about the work of Ukrainian military pilots and what can help Ukraine achieve superiority over the enemy in the sky, in particular F-15 and F-16 aircraft. Yeah, like they know which one is better. Why don't they go to F-35 straight there? I mean, how do they know? Anyway, they already said, the Ukrainians said about 2 months ago, that they have air superiority in Ukraine, on the territory of Ukraine. That's why the Russians do not dare to come over. So what are you talking about? Offensive attacks, offensive operations you're talking about, or defensive? Anyway, good luck, you're gonna get them, because I made another video and another article stating that the Ukrainians are collecting Ukrainian pilots to go and be trained on F-15, F-16 and F-18. So why would you train them for something you will never use, right? And again, in that article they were saying they were not saying if they receive it, is when they receive it. So that's how the thing. So they're on top of the little mountain slope model that I talk about. Yeah. So let's see what else we can get out of this. We can get out of this that it's right out in the open. Tanks were already delivered. The last batch of 28 tanks were delivered from Slovenia, Melania Trump's native country. Must be again Russia somehow. I don't think so. So is she the mole in the U.S. administration under Trump? Because usually that's what happens. Someone was telling me about the importance and the value of I'm not talking about Melania here. I'm talking about ladies of the night. So okay, there's nothing together here. But you know, those like Mata Hari, the famous spy that was and getting information, and he was a triple agent. Was not double, triple, I think. And from my information, one person like this placed in the right the right place, I'm sorry, would be like a value of a battalion in a war. So the number of a battalion, how much that is valued versus of a Mata Hari, a lady of the night, who would get information from these idiots, like me, for instance, because gonna get information from men. And that's what we do. Sometimes we become too nice, and we share things that we should not share with people that should not deserve to be shared with. But hey, love is a crazy thing, huh? Isn't it? Anyway, so I'm waiting for the dispatch of the first airplanes, and I think it's going to be like this. It's not going to be United States who's going to give them the first aircraft. It's going to be a state somewhere that could not be hit. I would say hit by Russia. I would say something like Czech Republic, something small, not of very much, or maybe Portugal. Even Portugal can be by the Atlantic, but Czech Republic really can't be. No Austria. Austria was always in between. Something like not Lithuania is too close. Maybe Lithuania. Some other possibly Balkan states that could not be hit by the Russians and smacked yet. That's a key word. So they're gonna just say, oh, we're gonna give you some, I don't know, Sukhoi, or not Sukhoi, not even, MiG-21s, you know, from 1970 or 60 or whatever they are. And we're gonna give you those. And then the Russians will say, and that's the foot in the door. It's the same, the mountain slope with the aircraft delivery. We're gonna start with, maybe they're gonna give them MiG-15, the one that fought in Koreas. Maybe they start with that one, the first one with the MiG, with a beautiful MiG. I'm gonna send them that one. They still have it. The Czechs still have them. I know that one, and they operational. I think they have them for certain tasks, or they were taken out a year ago. I don't know, something like that. But check them out. They're great airplanes, and they're gonna start with MiG-15. I'm just kidding. They're gonna start probably with MiG-21. That's where they're gonna start, and then MiG-21 is gonna jump straight to MiG-29. Oh, we don't need them. And guess what? Who's gonna fill that void? Raytheon, what? Boeing, and the other one I can't remember. Whatever, the big three. So there's gonna be built by Americans, brought here, and these guys are gonna give it to Ukraine. And the Russians will not do anything about it, as they didn't do anything about the fact that Ukraine was receiving help, support, arms from the West from the get-go. I would have just stopped it and said, this is a red line, you cross it, I'm gonna go whatever. So, and I would have done that to scare people. I would not, I would increase my how would I call it? Increased my air power to a certain extent. That look what something like these guys are doing right now. When they said don't hit our Kerch bridge, that's what I mean. Just do that, because you're already blamed for it. You're already a criminal of war, and it's so bad. But that's the war. So they're gonna start with MiG-21, then 29, and then the Americans are gonna step in and gonna give them a F-15. I don't know if operated by the Ukrainians or operated by their own pilots, like the Russians did in Vietnam, or was it? Or no, in Vietnam, in Korea. In Korea it was. They when they started with F-15 with MiGs. They had Russian pilots operating their, and they had some of those ones too. But anyway, I'm waiting for that, and that will happen. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.